welcome back. I'm Elaine and I'm living with autoimmune disease. Today we are having, well, we aren't. I'm having a right heart cath to check for pulmonary hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension is like something that happens with Scleroderma, and I've had some abnormal tests lately, so they need to go in and check my pulmonary pressure between my heart and my lungs, and the way that they do that is a right heart cath. I have never had this procedure done before, so this is my first time. I kind of searched YouTube to see if I could find anybody else who had had it done. I didn't find a whole lot of videos, so I thought I would bring you all along with me today. And David's here, of course, my chaperone home. You can't drive after the procedure, but David's always here anyway. He's my support husband. So we are here at Keck Hospital of USC to get it done. And so I'm about to go to admitting. I'm wearing an appropriate t-shirt.
Me too.
That's right, Donald?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope the doctor's not angry like that today. But I'm surviving purely out of spite. So let's go get my right heart cath and see what it has to say. So we had to check in at the visitor desk so David could get his visitor badge. And then I had to check in at admitting as well. But we're all checked in. Checked in?
Badge right here.
So we are just waiting now. So my procedure is at noon and we had to check in at 10. So we'll keep you guys updated. The nurse is going over my medication list, making sure I understand the procedure. I will wait for the nurse practitioner to come in to go over the whole procedure. We're going over why I'm there, and they did take blood and do a pregnancy test while I was doing this check-in process. This is so cool. For us that have Raynaud's, this is a heater that you put under your blanket so you don't get cold. All right, we made it home. I am lucid. Is lucid a word? Oh, lucid. Lucid's a word. We're home. I'm lucid. They didn't knock me out, so I didn't know if they were gonna like use anesthesia where I was like completely out, but apparently you have to be somewhat functionable because you have to be able to hold your breath while they're putting the catheter in. They did go through my neck, so I have a pressure bandage that has to be there for 24 hours. I'm thankful because I heard the recovery nurses especially told me if they go through your groin, it's a little bit more difficult because you can't move your leg and you need to stay still for like 2 hours after. I did have to wait 2 hours after. They had to monitor to make sure I wasn't having bleeding and stuff. But at least I could move around, and we'll keep the bandage on for a day or so I can't shower tomorrow. But I feel fine other than my neck is sore because you have to keep your neck to the side, and then with the arthritis, like I do have arthritis kind of in my neck and then my jaw, and they did kind of have to push on my jaw to get the catheter in, and I could somewhat feel it. I don't know if it was psychosomatic, but I could feel something going in, like I felt like a flutter, if that's the best way to describe it, but it didn't hurt. So that's what the bandage looks like. So I've got a bandage on my neck, and it'll be there for 24 hours, and not too bad. At least I didn't have to deal with the anesthesia. I don't do anesthesia well, so I get really sick after when they put me in like a twilight sleep. I don't know why, but I end up throwing up all the time. So I was really worried that I was gonna throw up. That's Wednesday. She's hungry because we've been gone all day. So I'm gonna feed Wednesday, and I'll fill you guys all in about it in just a bit. All right, it's been about 8 days. I wanted to wait a little while to film this conclusion because I wanted to give it some time for recovery so that I could be honest with you all about what exactly I felt, how I recovered. As you see, my neck is healing. So there is a little spot that you can see where they went in. And then the majority of the stuff I have left behind is because I was allergic to the Tegaderm. That's the adhesive that they put on with the pressure bandage. And I was kind of allergic to that. I have a lot of allergies anyway, so that left some blisters. And honestly, those blisters kind of hurt more than where they went into the jugular. So let me backtrack a little bit and tell you all what happened when I went into the procedure room. I don't think I covered that. So I was prepped, and I was prepped in both areas. I was prepped on my neck and I was prepped on my legs. Your groin area is the other place they go into. Now, I told you all this was my first heart cath that I've ever had. I did hear from a friend who had this that the groin takes a little more recovery time and it's a little more painful than the neck. So I'm really thankful they were able to go through the neck. And I actually heard from the nurses in the recovery room that the groin is also more of a recovery process because you have to stay flat because you can't disturb that vein or whatever they go in through. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm pretty much just telling you my experience. Apparently your neck, that vein stays straight no matter where you turn. So I went into the procedure room, and I think I told you all I was awake. I could totally know what was going on. I heard what was going on. They did give me a bit of like sedation, and I wasn't totally out of it. Like, it just kind of took the edge off. I felt a little anxious going into it. I mean, who is not going to be anxious? Like, give you like a little something to take the edge off. And I turned my head, my neck, and then this was prepped. And I had like a covering over my face. Now, if you think it was claustrophobic, it wasn't. They put a little window out the side that you could see, not a window, but they leave like a little area so I could see out the side. I am claustrophobic, and I didn't feel claustrophobic during this procedure at all. It was actually fine that it wasn't touching my face. There was like a little tent and I could see out. I will say, obviously, I have rheumatoid arthritis on top of scleroderma, and so I have a lot of problems with my joints. I have a lot of problems already with my neck, my occipital nerve, and my jaw. So this did flare my jaw and my neck. I don't know if everybody feels this way after having it done, but my neck hurt for a period of days, and it actually probably 7 days. Yesterday, it started to feel a little bit better. I can move my neck now. My jaw is doing better. But my jaw and my neck were definitely flared up from being in the position I was. So really, it wasn't like the insertion site that gave me problems. It was the joints after. This is gonna sound so silly, but I was afraid when I pulled the pressure bandage off, there was going to be like a big hole. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Like I told you, I don't really know anybody who's had this. I have one friend who is a online friend who has had it. And she kind of prepped me a little bit, but I didn't know what to expect when I pulled the bandage off. And so I did snap some pictures for you all. If you're a bit squeamish, you might want to fast forward a little bit or look away for a second. I'm going to insert the picture just so you know what to expect. I will insert those now so you can see what it looked like. So as you see, there is the site where they went in with the catheter, and there's a little bit of bruising around. Those look like vein bruises or whatever. And then you see that rash from the tegaderm. That bruising that showed up, it went away very quickly once it was uncovered. So that's the other thing I should tell you. It has to be covered for 24 hours. So whenever you have your procedure done, you have to keep that pressure bandage on it for 24 hours before you're able to remove it, at least for your neck. I can't attest to whatever happens for the groin area. I don't know. But the neck, I was told to keep it on for 24 hours. I wasn't able to shower during that time, so just know you won't be taking a shower the next day after your procedure. You can following that night. I actually waited to shower until the next morning, so I went a couple days without a shower. But that was fine. I didn't want to disturb. Your neck will make a scab. So they tell you no lotion, no perfume, no powders, nothing on that area for 10 days. So there is still a scab there. I will say I think it's healing now because it's a bit itchy. So I did catch myself itching it yesterday, and I could feel like a little bump, which I guess is the scab. And I stopped very quickly because I remembered I had that on my neck and I don't want to disturb the scab. The hospital I went to have it done, they called me the next day, the nurse did, just to make sure everything was fine. It didn't look like it was bleeding. I felt okay. And for the most part, I did feel okay. What did the procedure feel like? I know a lot of people are asking me if I felt them in my heart. Now, okay, I can only tell you my experience. I'm not a medical professional, so this is just what I could feel. They put lidocaine in your neck before they insert the catheter, so you don't feel that too much. You've got lidocaine around there. So I would say it feels like a blood draw or like getting a IV catheter inserted. You don't feel much. You do feel the needle from the lidocaine and you can feel the pressure of the lidocaine going in. Nothing too painful. The catheter part, I swear, it could totally be like psychosomatic. So, I mean, don't take my word for it. But I did feel like a slight like flutter in my heart, like during the procedure. And that could have totally been my mind. It may have not been the procedure at all, but it wasn't alarming. It didn't make me feel like I was having a heart attack or I couldn't breathe or like it didn't feel alarming. It just felt like, oh, okay, I think they made it to the right spot. They're in there. It wasn't bad. I will tell you all of that. The worst part of this procedure was my neck ache and my jaw ache the days following. That was it. That was literally the worst part. And you are not allowed to lift more than 10 pounds for 5 days following the procedure. Doctor who did the procedure was a cardiologist, not my cardiologist, because the order was put in through the pulmonologist. So it just went to a heart doctor that was doing caths that day at the hospital. He is a cardiologist that practices at the hospital. After the procedure, he called David and gave David like the pulmonary numbers. I don't know what any of those mean. I do have an appointment next week with the pulmonologist and he is supposed to go over what they found. What led up to this is I have been short of breath on exertion. This has been going on for about 3 years now. And I've had 2 abnormal CPET tests. If you know what a CPET is, it's a cardiopulmonary exercise test. That kind of pointed towards pulmonary hypertension. And that is something that happens with scleroderma. It's not as common with SCL70, but it can happen. Gold standard, the best way to diagnose that, and really the only way to diagnose that, is to go into the heart and get the pulmonary pressures in the right heart, the pulmonary valve. So they can estimate it on an echocardiogram, but that's only an estimate. To get the actual reading, you have to go in through right heart cath. I would say if you're having this done, definitely write down your questions, ask them. It's okay if you ask a ton of questions or you have questions that may seem trivial to other people but are important to you. Your team should want you to feel as comfortable as you can feel going into this. I mean, they're gonna know that you're apprehensive. I mean, who isn't apprehensive? Hopefully sharing my experience helped you a little bit, and that's the reason I wanted to make this video, is because I think I told you that I looked for information and I couldn't really find a whole lot, and so I wanted to put my story out there so it might help somebody else. If you're new here, I have autoimmune disease. I have systemic sclerosis or scleroderma and rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And so this channel is pretty much about my experiences of living with autoimmune disease. And I take you along on medical adventures and fun adventures. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you here. We have a great community of people. It's absolutely free to subscribe. It's not a membership, so just hit the subscribe button. I upload sporadically. I don't really have an upload schedule. If you all liked coming along with me on my right heart cath, please give it a thumbs up. Have you had a right heart cath? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how your experiences are. I think if you've had it done through the groin, if you could leave maybe an experience down below so that if somebody is having it through the groin, they maybe have an idea of what to expect. That would probably be helpful for our community. So if you could leave that too, if you've had it done and if you've done it through the groin. Remember, we're not giving medical advice, just sharing our experiences with others. Thank you for watching, and until my next adventure, go have yours.